Hello, I am Susan Reynard, Gauteng editor of Hotel and Restaurant. We are the business-to-business brand in the hospitality industry. We write about hospitality, tourism, across South Africa, Africa and internationally. We're taking a glimpse behind the scenes, down the corridors of a top hotel. We've chosen Hilton Sandton, which has been around for 14 years. It is an icon in the Sandton business node and appeals to both business and leisure travellers. So they are well versed in how to meet the needs of a variety of local and international guests. Come with us on this journey. It's a day in the life of a number of key departments across this hotel. Another important aspect of running a hotel is the business side. And who better to tell us more about that than the General Manager, Mr. Axel Hauser.
Well, the task of a General Manager are clearly defined. He involves in all aspects of running a hotel. So when we look at a hotel, it's what most of the people feel is looking after guests, greeting guests. But moreover, there are a lot of work to be done behind the scene. Because if you don't do your work behind the scene, you don't fill your hotel. A busy hotel, you are more on the scene to make sure everything runs, the machine runs. The wheels are acting together and not separate from each other. But when it's quiet, you have to make sure you get the business in, because a hotel has a huge bunch of overhead expenses. If you're not with the team, you don't deliver to the customer, to the guest. So it's very important that the team understands the vision. And the vision is very clearly defined. We want to create a home away from home. Whatever a brand says over and above on it. Guests come, our guests travel, our guests use hotels. They stay in hotels for a long time. They stay in different places. They are away from home. They need to feel something. It's a very difficult task because each guest is different. So constant day follow-up, constantly with the team trying to understand what it is. And with a hotel of that size, you have different guests, different expectations. So the challenge is on the team, and if I'm not involved in that challenge, we can't deliver. Unfortunately, we spend a lot of time in the office, what most of the people see as admin, because the image of a hotel general manager is that he sits in the restaurant, sips a glass of wine, greets guests, maybe picks the flowers with the housekeeper. These days are gone. Today, we spend, unfortunately, tremendous amount of time in our office, not necessarily with boring admin, rather more we are looking at means and ways, how do we stay competitive on the market and how do we get the competitive edge. Managing an international brand has its own challenges because most of the time a brand of our size sits in one part of the world where a certain culture exists. Now, fortunately, our hotels are sitting in each corner of the world, so cultural diversity is the challenge. Over the years, e-commerce and social networking has become more and more important. If we think back 20 years ago, if I think back 20 years ago, not too long ago, we didn't know what the internet is. We had no idea. We didn't know what a cell phone is. Not to talk of an iPod Touch or anything like this. Today our kids are growing up with that. They're playing with it on daily life. So is our business growing. Our business looks for different channels. So very, very important that the hotel is up to date, up to par and uses these tools. Global travelers or general travelers look for certain things, certain aspects within a hotel. So if it's the international traveler, he looks where he feels comfortable. A brand certainly speaks a huge role, but a brand is nothing without the people who drive the brand. And when we look back how we operated our properties in the past and how we operate today, a key focus is on saving the environment and energy conservation, because we have to make sure we leave something behind for the future generation, for our kids. And when we operate a hotel, of course we are very much concerned how do we use energy and how do we make sure with minimum energy achieving maximum guest satisfaction. This starts in terms of technology we use, what kind of cooling system we use, how we make use of recycling waste air in terms of heat generation, what kind of lighting levels we put into place, and a lot of innovations are taking place currently in the market. Particularly looking in a country like South Africa, where we have a severe problem with energy due to the infrastructure. It's an absolute must that we in the industry drive for it and make sure we play an active role. Unfortunately, an average day for me does not exist because each day has its own challenges. We covered in the beginning what's the role of a general manager. It's basically to be the captain of the ship. So different days, different expectations. So you plan your day, Particularly when you say, oh, it's Monday, you sit on a Sunday, you say, I want to achieve this the week. And when you look down the road, the week completely develops different. You have change in business pattern. You have all of a sudden a different demand. You have some pitfalls in your operation. So it's, I think, simply described, you play it by the day. What makes a guest come back is probably when you ask yourself, what would you make yourself come back to a property? What are you looking for? Are you looking for luxury? Are you looking for comfort? Are you looking for recognition? I think each guest has its own expectation in these aspects. It's important for us to understand what the guests want. At the end of the day, it's not so much important that your hardware is shiny and glimmery and luxurious. It's more important how you treat the guest, how you make the guest feel comfortable. And these are, of course, the daily challenges we have in our industry today.
From the front door to the GM's door, we have been really impressed by just how committed staff are to guest satisfaction. And guest satisfaction is what drives and informs every action and every decision made across the hotel. So whether somebody is making a bed, making a meal, or setting up a conference room, the thought is always there. Is this what the guest wants? Does this keep the guest happy? Will the guest come back? That tells us that there is no average day in the life of a hotel. Every day is new and exciting.